Yeah, I'll just make this for highlight, because that wouldn't be a very good context highlight. So you'll have to watch the entirety of this video to find out where the context of that highlight came in. Boom! Genius marketing highlight skills.
You a genius.
Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new, very special video here on the channel because it's the first Friday of June, which can only mean one thing. It's time for another episode of the Skylanders Spyro's Adventure Roulette here on the channel. So today we're going to be tackling for 3 water levels in Skylanders Spyro's Adventure to acquire the Water Eternal Source. Then it can obviously be added to the Air Eternal Source, which we earned already from a previous episode. A tragic one because we managed to fail the Air Challenge twice, as I really misunderestimated just how difficult a one-hit challenge would be. Especially when you can't jump and very easily dodge projectiles. Eruptor learnt that the hard way. That being said, this very first episode of the Roulette series premiered, and it was to some very high reception because not only did the series get a lot of likes and a lot of comments, but also we nearly cracked 2,000 views, which blows my mind. Thank you so much for the support on the first episode of this series. And actually, speaking about the premiere, a lot of you were very quick to point out that in the life section, I did this subconsciously, so by total accident and to no fault of my own, because half of these challenges is not a challenge itself, it's fighting against my habit, and unfortunately that's where I was fighting a losing battle because Prison Break accidentally got himself a slice of cake, which is very much against the challenge rules. So despite the fact I did not notice that in the premiere, after that was pointed out to me, I realised that this guy technically failed the challenge. So now, not only do we need to replace Prison Break there on the roulette, but we also need to add another to our, or another score to our challenges failed counter. Boy, I'm not very good at speaking right now, but that's just because I take no joy and privilege in miserably failing Prison Break right now. Again, force of habit, and it broke me. But speaking of breaking things, the new character actually entering our roulette is a character I cannot show on the green screen because he will just vanish, given that he's green and all that. Speaking of things that vanish, my sunburn has ceased to vanish. It's subsided a little bit, that's for sure. You can barely even tell it's pink. But yeah, it's itchy, and I can't itch it because it's sunburn. Last thing I want to do is continue to kill off my skin cells for more. They've already been killed off, that is. Wow, I really cannot speak, I'm just blah blah face.
Skylander, right?
Yes I am.
The way you saved my family, I want to be just like you when I
Yeah, you don't. Gilbert, terrible role model. Last thing you want to do is go and fight Chaos's evil forces. You see, this is why Skylanders are no heroes. They are terrible role models to Quigley over here. And speaking of Quigley, whilst we're playing as Gilbert, I really want to hear what he has to say.
Is it true you sleep with your eyes open?
Watch a fish sleep and you'll find out. That's all I can say to that, my friend. Anyway, what we need to do to initiate the next area for Oil Spill Island is to speak with Gurglefin, or specifically find them all locked up. Oh, that's a shame. I have to watch my cholesterol levels. Yeah, I was looking forward to this snack and all that. I wanted me some fish and chips, with more chips than fish, because potatoes are more delicious than fish, in my personal opinion. But man, that was just about the most British thing I could have said.
This is just the worst.
Gil Grunt, get on it. Stop listening to him and start saving your fellow Gilman. Unless you're considering eating him, which would definitely make you a cannibal there, Gil Grunt. Sure, it's a good thing you don't have any, like, fish snacks in this game for the food to heal you up. First of all, because if they did, I probably would acquire them by accident in life zones, despite the fact that that is against the rules, because I can be very stupid like that. And secondly, if there was, and Gilgren ate it, he would be a bit of a cannibal. Like how Hot Dog eating hot dogs is a cannibal, despite the fact that Hot Dog is an actual hot dog, but it's just funny making a pun on the names and all that. Hot Dog eating a hot dog. That's funny right there. Oh, that might even be the title of the episode. That's funny right there, eh?
On you, would you, Mr. Fish?
Might even be the highlight, because then I could imply that there's something funny coming up for the rest of the video, so you want to watch past the highlight. Or better yet, I'll just make this the highlight, because that wouldn't be a very good context highlight. So you'll have to watch the entirety of this video to find out where the context of that highlight came in. Boom! Genius marketing highlight skills.
You a genius.
Also, it gives me the opportunity to black and white things up like I wanted to originally with this series, but as I previously mentioned in the debut episode, black and white inverted does not look so great. But now I just need to remember if off the top of my head there was anything else to mention going into this episode. I think the main points are ones we've already covered, how in the premiere the chat was very quick to point out the fact that Prison Break accidentally chowed down on some cake, so now he's been kicked from the roulette wheel, and we've added a counter to the challenges failed thus far. We're going to sail to Oswald Island without further ado. I really want to push the skip button, the best button in video game, skip button, and get this unnecessary deep stew out of here, but that seems to be asking for too much. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is the fact that if Gil Grunt pops up in a tech zone, we're kind of fucked. Like, the tech challenges, no projectiles. The problem with Gil Grunt is that all of his attacks are projectiles. So I'll have to worry about that bridge when, or if and when we come to it. But for now, I have faith that we can get through these water sections without losing a single challenge. All I need to do is, again, fight my force of habit, as well as not need to worry about one-hit challenges, because there are no air zones in the water levels. Whew! There is a pretty nasty like element rave going on in the Crystal Eye Castle though, so I'm not looking forward to chapter 8. Oh, but I do look forward to my wiggling. My wiggling, yeah. But no, episode 3 and episode 4 are definitely going to be short ones, because they're only the 2 Earth levels and the 2 Life levels. Not only are they only 2 levels each time, but those levels are more on the shorter side, especially Treetop Terrace and Crystal Eye Castle, Stone Town, and Fallen Forest. These are for boss fights to kind of lengthen them out a bit. Not that we're looking for hour-long videos to monetize offer. Anyway, there is no element currently active, so I don't need to switch out for the next character in Roulette, and I also don't need to worry about any challenges being active. That is going to change, however. First things first, this thing looks to be funny, so it deserves to be destroyed. Anyway, water is active here, which means primary attacks only. For the character that we're going to have to switch out for, which is going to be Bash, that should be no problem whatsoever, given that Bash, his primary attack is very good, and he's been reset. Luckily for him, he has one of the best primary attacks right out of the box. So yeah, he's going to be dumpster broken. Sure is a good thing though that I'm actually tilting my head because my health bar is covered up by my phone, but I'm extra certain I took damage there, and I'd be correct in assuming that. But that damage isn't enough to take down Bash and say he's still got that dumpster broken primary attack that we have to stick to, no matter what. Oh yes, some treasure. Do not mind if we do. Do not mind if we do. Oh yeah. Oh, I almost did his roll then. Almost a force of habit. But luckily for me, it almost doesn't count now, does it? Wait, did I do his roll before? If I did his roll before, then obviously I will, in post, add the challenges failed and switch out Bash. But for now, I'm going to continue playing it because I'm pretty confident I haven't done anything besides his primary attack. Anyway, looks like we're swapping out for Stump Smash in this tech zone where he cannot use any projectiles. Baby Groot is his name, apparently. What do you know, eh? But his projectiles will count his tertiary attack as a projectile, even though it deals damage when it gets up close and personal with enemies, but it can be fired off and you can like walk away whilst it rolls down hills and things. So I suppose the fact that you don't need to be anywhere close to the enemies when it lands somewhat classifies as projectile. You see, it's even debatable what classifies as a projectile in this game, but I can tell you what, his secondary attack is definitely projectile, so we won't be using that. Luckily for me, the RT button isn't a projectile, so we'll take advantage of that. We'll have this laser coming in through with Baby Groot right here, yes. Oh wow, one of those trolls just kind of died to the laser. Ha! Take that, yes, stinking troll. Oh, and now we've got a Grenadier. Great! My absolute favourite enemies. Smash, smash, smash. I mean, that is part of the name and all that. Here's Dump Smash, known for all the smashing. Oh yeah, I'm destroying some folks. I'm also getting hit by some other folks, which is not cool. But I can both eat food and take damage. Yeah, tech is one of the more convenient challenges, and the fact that it's one of the ones I can actually do. My mind can actually comprehend not using projectiles, especially when I'm using such a melee-heavy character like Stump Smash over here. It's a shame though, I would have loved to have been playing Prison Break right now, but we don't always get what we wish for now, do we? Smash! Oh, but I love that damage right there. Stump Smash just, he came, he saw, he smashed. This part is really fun. We get to use lasers. Do lasers count as projectiles? Because that's just the thing. Like, I'm not even pressing any attack buttons. I'm not even one doing the attack. It's just that trolls are there and the laser is passing through them. So I would argue no. It's the troll's fault for being stupid enough to stand there in the first place. Also, I've done this already. So if we're not going to count it before, we're not going to count it here either. See, I take my lasers to the face. I say lasers, not projectiles, for, again, they might be projectiles, they're not Stump Smash's projectiles. And like I have Trigger Happy's gun, the icon, kind of emphasising the fact that Trigger Happy's gun is an attack. Any attacks that are projectiles are the ones that we cannot use. So yeah, let's just have that cleared up. I2 was also a major confusion. But luckily for me, because it's my series, I can just make up rules as we go along. You can expect a lot more of that throughout the series. That being said, let's destroy this cage by opening it up, I guess. If only it spontaneously combusted then and there, that would have been highly convenient. Will you seriously get this cutscene twice? Does this game want to emphasise the scariness of the tank right now? Because I'm sorry to say it, but I don't care what mark you are, I'm not going to be afraid of no troll tank. I ain't afraid of no tanks. It even damaged itself. Why would I be intimidated by something that is literally killing itself?
You know, I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. I hate to say it, though, but we still need your help. It's this factory. It's polluting our waters and generally mucking things up. It's ruining everything. Please, help us destroy it. Say, you know, if you could get your fins on a troll bomb, maybe throw it into that big smoke belcher, I think that would do it. Kaboom! The trolls would be gone, our home would be safe, and then maybe I'd run out of things to complain about.
Let's be moving on. Skipping over all the unnecessary deep stew, or not, because the game said no. And now we grab ourselves a bomb. You know what? I'm just gonna leave the spell poke be. Yeah, it's kind of depressing if I just go around on a brutal murdering spree, especially if I'm supposed to be a so-called hero, so let's not be depressing, let's be light-hearted and fun, because that's what this series is for, and I'm hoping that, you know, I can provide some escapism for maybe people who've had a bit of a down day and aren't feeling the finest. And on the bright side, you are pretty wise, my friend, you are wise, and the fact that you're watching this video. You're watching this video rather than being elsewhere, so that's the wisest thing you could possibly be doing.
On behalf of my people, I present you with this oil donkey.
Not a big fan of the name.
I didn't name it.
That sure is a good thing right there. Also love the angle, very low down angle.
And that's exactly what we need right now.
You see, I was just trying to present the oil donkey as something really powerful and something to be intimidated by. You know, that oil donkey is the difference between victory and defeat right here. If that oil donkey was never created, then there never would have been the butterfly effects of the sequences of time to where we never would have proceeded to defeat chaos without that oil donkey. That oil donkey was the difference between our victory and defeat, and I say this without hidden sarcasm nor shadow of doubt. So yeah, now we can oil up for Far Viewer, after having plopped some oil on the ground, that is. Hugo, could you waltz up any slower right there, my friend?
Yes, but, let me back up a step.
Yes, you do that.
We'll need the eternal water source to add to the core of life.
Well done.
To my blueprint, the water is no good to us unless...
Water is always good to us. Water is kind of essential. It is what 9% of our planet is made out of. It is what us humans need to literally function. Our brain cannot live without the nutrients and hydration water generates. You know, they say water is brain food for a reason. They also say tuna is brain food, which is also correct. But point is, water, you know, kind of re-energizes your brain, helps with your intelligence. That's why they allow stuff like still water in exams. Obviously, like no juice, no sugars, and you've got to rip off the labels, because the labels could allow you to cheat in an exam, because the information about water is really going to be a difference between me knowing how a particle accelerator works and not. I mean, granted, in certain cases I can see it being useful, like for example, sometimes they have locations on there, and for geography that would be very useful. It could inspire like pictures of mountains if they get like mountain still waters for art. But for science, I mean, I guess there's also H2O, but do they print H2O on many water bottles? Then again, how many times do I actually buy water bottles in order to read all the information? If I'm going to buy a drink, it's going to be anything but water. I want flavour, not nothingness. If I wanted flavourless, I would have just bought the water bottle for the sake of a plastic, and I would have ate that. That's the only purpose for water bottles, in my personal opinion, to have the plastic bottle and chew down on that, because at least then you can get some sort of ounce of flavour in there, and texture too. Then again, most drinks don't have texture. A drink having a texture means you've probably done something wrong, to be fair. Unless it's pulp, and I love pulp. Okay, is this unnecessary deep stew we can skip over? Nah, it's asking for too much. Again, just to make a change. Yeah, okay, Griffin, we get it. Can we move on now? How do you like my chair back here? That's half my leather coat that's upon the chair's back right now. Luckily, it's not heavy enough to be breaking one's backs. But it is like Ross once said in Friends. Yeah, that's right. I've been watching Friends for the first time as of late. I've made it all the way up to that of the 7th season, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I love sitcoms, and this one is very much a sitcom, so a famous sitcom at that, with characters that have just so much chemistry. You truly feel the friendship amongst them. Now we have Earth, where it's going to be one very unfun combination, because we have Tornado combined with the fact that I have to hold this controller upside down. Oh boy, I should probably move because we have artillery strikes right now. Anyway, how do I even hold this thing? Like, I've done this before as part of a sabotage. Let me just get out of the way of the artillery fire, and then boom, there you go. Okay, what I've done is I've held a PS4 controller upside down. I wonder why I was confused about the Xbox 360. That, and also, as this episode has already proven, my brain cells are not particularly burning on all cylinders today. Perhaps I should have hydrated myself with the water I was talking to you about earlier. That's what this episode is all about, and let this be an example of why you should definitely drink more water, kids. Drink more water or you'll turn out like me. Anyway, in this level there's actually a magic zone, so one of our characters is going to have to be reset, unfortunately, and soon enough we'll find out who it is. It would be funny if it was Bash all over again, right after I got him a chest, so we could hopefully upgrade him.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Okay, here we go, all inverted directions. No idea how I'm actually coping with this. But yeah, you can tell the controller is very much upside down. That's what I have the face cam for. Like, seriously, when I was debating whether or not to include a face cam for this series. Die. Oh, he doesn't want to die, apparently. Yeah, last thing I need is such a directional character where my directions are inverted. Oh, you see what I mean? Because then that happens. Gurglefin! Seriously, bruh. Okay, fine, those guys are dead. But yeah, in the end I had to go for face cam, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to have video proof that I was holding my controller upside down. But now you can see it with your own two eyes. This is very much what an upside down controller looks like. It is not comfortable, and the controls are inverted, and I am just... any brain cells I had I definitely don't have them anymore. Oh boy, this is like the hardest part, and it's also the part where I realised that the element of the area is no longer active, so the challenge is no longer active also. But I gotta wait for another element to pop up for a challenge to activate, and for a switch out, like for example with Drill Sergeant here, where I need to use primary attacks only. Time to fight habit, because I'm so used to this character, like having the tertiary attack held down at all times, because obviously with Drill Sergeant you can use the tertiary attack as you use all of your other attacks, and also it's so weird going so slow. Like normally I'd use my dash to speed up, but I can't do that neither because that's not a primary attack. This is depressing. Anyway, let us just quickly jab at the D-pad by accident, remembering that, oh yeah, the D-pad allows us to move in this game, unlike all the other Skylander games, mind you. So let's be flicking that right stick right there. Okay, remember, primary attacks only. Now I'm just tempted to do different inputs for my movement, because I'm so used to the inversion after the Earth area right now. I want to go up for down, down for up, left for right, and right for left. You see, doing these challenges one after the other, that's the hard part. It reminds me of when I did the Sabotage Live, and how I'd have new sabotages every single wave, just constantly shifting between one mindset to another is what throws me off. It's why Prison Break failed, because during the live zone I was thinking about only using tertiary attacks, as I came from a tech zone where obviously I couldn't use any projectiles. Beforehand it was for magic, where obviously I had to reset bash. But still, thinking that Prison Break could only use his tertiary attacks, that's what made me think it was safe to eat food. That, and also during the combat I did use all of my attacks, but when I got back to the ruins I mentioned about how I could only use that tertiary attack given that it wasn't a projectile, like the tech challenge, making it sound in reference like I just came from a tech challenge when I didn't. It's just the tech challenge was the one that was in that moment on my mind. I'm not gonna say, tech is just always on my mind. Speaking of things on my mind, I almost used another attack right there, but luckily for me, thinking about doing another attack and actually doing that attack are two completely different things, so I didn't fail the challenge, just from my frame of mind, so to say. Oh, this fool, he's got to die. Yeah, get him out of here, son. Die, die, die. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it's been taken down. I believe that this is going to be a Earth section. So let's take off Drill Sergeant, pop on a character actually from his triple pack, Double Trouble. I suppose that Double Trouble and Drill Sergeant are the only characters that have something in common in this series, given that they both came in the same triple pack. Or at least from the roulette wheels thus far. Obviously we did have Zap for the shortest while, which is one of the dragons, same as Bash, and also the water dragon that replaced Tornado. So yeah, there was links there, but obviously Zap failed his challenge and got kicked off the roulette, unfortunately. Riley would not be proud, and it honestly breaks my heart to let him down. That being said, because this character was reset in the Stormy Stronghold, we definitely want to collect this here legendary treasure. And by the looks of it, Gil Grunt is going to have to be reset because magic is popping up next, which means we was one off on the roulette from having to reset Bash again. Anyway, that was me going for wrong way. Controller upside down and all that. Okay, what do we have then? This fool, he's going down. Wow, I can't even target these guys with my freaking upside down controller apparently. Okay, boom, got that guy. And you know what? We're not leaving here without igniting the Soul Gem. Why? Because I'm biased, okay? He's my favourite starter ever. I want to preview it because I want the gloriousness of Ignited in this series to some capacity. Ah! That character looks really good. If you're thinking that, then you're correct in thinking that, because that is exactly what Igknight is. In fact, he's not just really good, he is the best. He is so fucking good. Anyway, oh, water. I forgot that water popped up. Oh my god, that means that Bash is going to be reset again. So primary attacks only for Gilgren. Controller back to being regular way up. When magic pops up on Roulette, we go back to Bash, which means he's going to be reset again. Oh shit. Oh shit.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Yeah, mistakes were made. Now that right there is a fine example of habit getting the best of me. At least now we no longer need to concern ourselves with Gilgren in tech zones, because, you know, he's been replaced by a character who very much has melee-orientated attacks, so functioning without projectiles will be no problem. It would appear as though the random name generator really loves water Skylanders, because now replacing Gilgren on that Roulette is Ramshaw. You just heard me slam onto the portal. But as I was saying, it would appear that there are many things that are cursed about the series. First of all is that fucking slot on the Roulette. Like, seriously, bruh? Seriously? I have lost 75% of these challenges failed up there have came from that one slot on the Roulette. That slot on the Roulette for second slot is a cursed slot. Like, how long is Whamshaw going to last? Is he even going to make it past this episode 2? Like, so much about the plan of not failing a challenge a single time. That plan is long gone. And another thing that's cursed is the fact that Bash always seems to be the one who gets reset. Unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbles, or in this case, how the element falls. The element falls upon the reset challenge being burdened upon Bash. And his tail even got caught in the fist there. That's got to be painful. Speaking of pain, I am now in much pain knowing that I accidentally pressed the wrong button. So, let's reset this guy. Again. Oh, poor old Bash. He just can't seem to catch a break now, can he? Well, getting that treasure chest in Orspine was a waste of time. And I have to be very careful now because, level 1, not much health. Oh, but I can destroy 3 enemies at once. That's always a blast with Bash over here. Boom, baby. Luckily for me, I can use all of my attacks again, so that's fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah, I don't need to worry about fighting habit and failing, like I did with Gilgren. So far, we've had one challenge failed every single episode, and boy, it's ultimate depression. Boy, episode 1 Igknight was naive, thinking he could get through this entire series without a single challenge failed. What a stupid thing for me to conceive of. Obviously that wasn't going to happen. In no universe will that happen. I'm just not that good at pushing be good at video game. Or worse yet, fighting my own habit. What do you expect? I literally went from holding my controller upside down to using only primary attacks. Anyway, speaking of which, I've got to make sure I don't pull off the same upsie and use only primary attacks here. Luckily, so far, every single time I've played as Baby Groot, all I've done is use primary attacks. Obviously, when he was melee attacks only, all I did was use his primary attacks. And now that I am just primary attacks only altogether, I'm still doing just that.
We need to open the main gate.
Oh man, I really wish this was skippable, but unfortunately, once again, I seem to be asking for too much. So, yeah, Baby Groot, using his other attacks, that seems to be asking for too much. And it would appear that this is the second cursed slot, because, you got nicknames and challenge failures that I didn't even notice when filming it live, mind you. Let's just say that every slot in this roulette is cursed except for fucking Warnado and Drill Sergeant slots. And that's just typical because those are my 2 least favourite characters in the entirety of roulette. So obviously those are the slots that don't get cursed. Oh, there's no element active here, so I can use any attacks I wish. Yeah! Take that, suckers! Yeah, as you can tell, my stump special's down for the Acorn Path. Oh yeah. Man, that switch out was short. Short, and it's not going to leave much of a legacy, that one now, is it? You know, I must have defeated 2 enemies with challenge active, and that's all I needed, because afterwards the element of the area just kind of vanished, and as did the challenges along with it. Let's say, the game just knows that I'm not the biggest fan of Warnado and Drill Sergeant, so because of that, to punish me, the game is going to make them be the only ones to last throughout the entirety of the series. We're going to see characters come and go. Characters I love are just going to be shoved out from dumb luck or me just being an idiot like I was with Gilgrunt today. Speaking of which, Whamshell and Warnado are both forgotten Skylanders, so I suppose those two characters are linked.
I wonder how I'd look with an eye patch.
That being said though, yeah. Ultimate Depression, we added to our challenges failed, and we figured out that basically every single slot is cursed except for the slot containing the two characters that are my least favourites. Because getting rid of them is too much to ask for. The game's just going to punish me by making them play them over and over and over again. Ooh! Unnecessary deep stew we can skip over. My favourite.
We can talk about the eternal water.
Ocean Major Minor. That's a fun name right there. Really rolls off the tongue, that one. Anyway, what's fun about the Bisons Lagoon is that when it's a boss fight, there is no element of the area active, so we don't need to worry about any challenges. Whew!
The eternal water source has returned to the sea and can only be summoned with the 4 ancient statues on these.
Well, that's a little inconvenient.
Why do I think there's a big butt in all of this?
Ha! He said but.
I've also.
He also said but. That's hilarious. But what I want right now is that I'm doing this after I filmed the first session of my Skylanders Track Team Trackmaster Nightmare lock. What I want is Hugo's French voice actor. His French voice actor is so good, man. He's so energetic.
Extremely cautious.
Where's that guy when you need him? That being said, let's speak with Gurglefin.
Ready to go and get savagely eaten by a giant fish?
Yeah, let's do it. Can hardly wait. Here we go with Bisons Lagoon, yeah. Man, I can't believe that for that first Earth section I took so long figuring out how to hold the controller fucking upside down. Like, why did I start off with it like that? It's just weird. Okay, here we go with this string of islands. But yeah, I'm definitely going to title this That Slot is Cursed! Because it is, it's an accurate title. And it's going to be in all capitals, obviously. What tail fin? Stump Smash, I have a tree butt. They put a lot of detail into his tree butt too. I think the developers were proud of that tree butt. And it's tree butt like you've cut into an actual tree with like spiral and patterns and all that. Anyway, it's all this skippable. Nope.
The mole butt says the eternal water source will only
You're right, he is a bit of a butt, isn't he?
4 statues in the shrine. So get them all.
He might be a mole butt, but he's our mole butt. Anyway, we're at Paul Closter. Paul Closter? Is that the name of someone or something? Like, in what fucking universe is Pearl pronounced that way? Anyway, we've got a Hobniara. He's going down, but first I've got to take down that guy with my lack of elemental challenges active right now. Boom, baby. Yeah, that acorn of mine seems to have gone out to sea. I don't think I can get this guy with Sub Smash. I stand corrected, apparently. I will be grabbing you. That's going to give us a cutscene ready for the next one. I've tried to dive into the sea because Sub Smash has a very interesting soul gem. And it's this. Look at that, he's waterlogged. Oh, there's also a giant fish, so let's skedaddle and escape from waterlogging before I'm savagely swallowed and by accident ate by a massive fish. That will not be awfully satisfactory. It was also not awfully satisfactory is that now we have Warnado. Ugh. But at least I'm going to do whatever I want with him, except for eating the food. I've got to make sure I don't do that, because that's for life challenge. We got to not eat food. Oh! I forgot that Warnado can fly over those. That's pretty cool. Still not a fan of the character, however. Why was that, like, not dealing any damage? That was very annoying. Not the biggest fan. Like, yeah. Yeah, get swallowed up this time. Oh, you gotta wait for him to finish getting swallowed up by it for it to deal the damage. So you gotta use strategy as to whether you hit them out of it and you just use that for stun, or whether you let them stick around and actually get dealt damage to. And those enemies that don't get stuck in it are just dealt instant damage by it, apparently. I think I'm giving Warnado more credit than he's due over here. Anyway, let's try this again, hopefully with a little less fail. That's for hope, anyway. Okay, there we are. We actually pushed it the correct way this time. Now that is a fucking miracle, I'm telling you. What we're going to do here is we're just going to use the diagonals because that's how one way you can traverse in this game. There we go, diagonals for the win. We even got all the treasure along the way. Oh, didn't eat that chicken. I was very close. I almost lost control with one of those spin, and it almost became a habit for me to eat the chicken. But I didn't. Thank fuck for that. And now we have water where it's primary attacks only. Yes, it is primary attacks only. So, Drill Sergeant. Perfect choice with his projectile fodder for his primary attack. You see what I mean? Nero doesn't... Oh, he still has a chance. I take it back. That's a shame. I really wanted to get him from afar, but that seems to be asking too much. Okay, we're not going to bother listening to the story scroll though. We're going to skip it over like we do all the other unnecessary deeps do. Unfortunately, because I seem to be ineffective in shooting this guy, we're going to have to push that turtle into place and kill the Hognaro by making him bump into it, I suppose, as I continue to itch my itchy nose. What a nuisance this nose is. Oh man, those rockets were bloody useless, I'm telling you. But that turtle on the other hand, most useful turtle in the history of turtles. Let's not use other attacks. Remember me to not use other attacks. Except for the attack where I itch my nose, I seem to have been using that plenty. Okay, do not use other attacks. I know I really want to do the dash right now, but I cannot do the fucking dash. As much as I really, really want to. Oh, how's that for grossness? Okay, let's kill those things. Okay, luckily for me, the food is alright because we're not in the life zone anymore. Okay, finally we can push that fucking turtle. I've been eagerly anticipating this moment. So because Drill Sergeant isn't maxed out yet, we're going to go up here and collect the treasure chest. Mainly because, well, I feel like it. Oh yeah, just that stick back and forth. I want to see gold. I want to stand here so that then none of it can fall down the right side. I mean, that's just a nuisance when it does that. Ooh, that's a lot of treasure. Yeah, Drill Sergeant, who might not be maxed out now, he certainly soon will be. Die, 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 die. Wow, this is why Drill Sergeant is so useless. That fucking primary attack is so weak and slow paced. Also, normally when people are in the water, they just kind of like commit Sudoku. Not in that guy's case, apparently. I think the game never intended for you to be able to knock back the enemy that far. So it never bothered creating the programming for the collision damage when when that specific enemy model is knocked out to sea. In other words, I'm doing things that the developers never intended for, never tested for. Okay, let's push this turtle into place and then we can finish off this fool. He's annoying me. But I still can't do the dash. I still can't do the dash, yeah. Man, so much habit I'm having to forcefully push down. I cannot use this. It's against my will almost. My will would dictate that I really want to use anything other than primary attack, but unfortunately the rules of the roulette say so otherwise. Ooh, treasure chest. Hope you was paying attention because that gave us the location of said treasure chest. I want it. I want it. I want it now, and I think this means that we get to play through the entirety of the like water boss fight section against Chaos's evil minions, and we get to do all of that grossness with Drill Sergeant. Yay! I will grab that watermelon though. Watermelon! Oh yeah. So that being said, Gurglefin, what do you have for us here, chum? Besides an itchy skin right here, which again I should not be doing that. I have to fight my habit to use other attacks, or to not use anything other than a primary attack even. That's a habit I've got to fight, and then I also got to fight the habit to itch my skin. All around, so many habits to break.
Get in that cannon, aim for the masts. I'd do it myself, of course, but you know, fish eye.
Oh, excuses, excuses. Get off your lazy butt and do something. You can't call someone a butt and then be a butt. That's what we call being hypocritical, my friend. And do you really want to be a fucking hypocrite? No you don't. Nobody likes a hypocrite. Being a hypocrite is not a very likable trait, may I emphasize this. Die, 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 you stinking ship, die. Why are you taking so long to die? It'd be very inconvenient. I don't much appreciate this. Ah, this stinking ship right now is not my best friend. It doesn't want to die, you see, that's the problemo. Oh, there you go, that's more like it. Oh, yeah. It's cracked. That ship is cracked, bruh. Obviously, cracked can mean many different things. Like run. Turns out run, despite only having 3 letters, can mean many, many different things. Okay, sweet. These things, they're being destroyed with only the utilization of my primary attack button, might I add. Okay, I'll continue to not use anything other than the primary attack. Sweet! But I hope this episode, with my pain and suffering and all that, I hope you enjoyed said pain and suffering. I'm sure it's a lot more enjoyable for all of you than it is for yours truly. One thing none of us enjoy, however, is how I need to rub my shoulders rather than itch them, because that's just what sunburn does to you, I'm afraid. Not literal scar to sunburn, though, unfortunately. He has been selected for Roulette because apparently Random Name Generator doesn't like him. Apparently Random Name Generator only likes the names of water Skylanders. I mean, it's kind of appropriate given that we are hunting down for Eternal Water Source right now. Stop shooting me! Or hitting me, it's rude. I'm the one who's shooting you. Which is not rude. It would be rude if it was the other way around. That's how it works. I don't make up rules. I just reinforce them. So, what do we have there? Eternal Source. Oh yes, the element of the area is no longer active, so I can finally use my other attacks at long last. I would love to skip this, but that's asking too much. That's per the norm, apparently. Oh no, he didn't! Okay, let's give him the old one too, even though my character's garbage and he sucks. But the old one too, all the same! Oh, Chaos, don't be that way, chum. Don't be that way.
And you are never getting out of here alive.
He's gonna proceed to be that way, isn't he? This guy, this freaking guy. Who does he think he is, this guy? Okay, here we go. Time to take down a evil amphibian. Okay, here I am using wrong attack. I meant to use the tertiary attack because as was mentioned about previously this episode, you can do that in conjunction with any other attack you please. Yeah, he did! I got food! I better not die, because then Joe Sergeant will be kicked off Roulette, and I will add to the challenges having been failed, because technically not dying is a challenge, and if that happens at any point, then said challenge has been failed. Okay, let's see what we got. Well, food first and foremost, and then Doom Sharks that I can heal up on. Ow, ow, I'm getting chopped. That is not pleasant. Stop chopping me, it's so rude! Like I said, it's not pleasant, and that makes it rude. Okay, there you go. Heal me! Heal. That's not what healing looks like, you fool. I said heal me, that's not healing either. Bloody useless Doom Sharks, I'm telling you. Man, my large-ass hitbox is not helping with anything. I didn't realise how big Drill Sergeant's hitbox was until now. Maybe, just maybe, if he appears in the air sections for Crystal Eye Castle, I can accidentally get him kicked off a Roulette. Oh, but that's the level that's coming up next, and I don't... Does the element of the area change up enough to shift back to Drill Sergeant? Or let's see, it's going to be Earth, Air, Tech, Air, Tech, Air. Oh! So that means Drill Sergeant probably will be played for the very end of the level. Yeah, Crystal Eye Castle really switches out his elements a lot. Once again, I seem to be using the wrong bumpers for my attacks over here. That is if Drill Sergeant even makes it that far. There you go, he's dead. And that is one cutscene, or should I say an episode each 2 that I could skip. Sweet! But yeah, Drill Sergeant, not a particularly ideal character to get through things unscathed. So if he is going to be for that final air section, then I'm in for a treat, shall we say, in Crystal Eye Castle. Okay, I want that food. After, obviously, the Doom Shots have passed because I want to get healed up by them, not damaged by them. Oh, that was mean and rude. Okay, there you go. That's more like it. Yes, sir. Oh, I love this portion. This portion is great. I wish all of the portions were like this. Oh, boy, that's a little not as good. Man, the hitboxes in this game are janky to say the least. Oh, and this is a part where the game tries to blind me because this is not for the faint-hearted. By faint-hearted, I mean epileptic, because the flashing colours right here do get pretty intense. You've been warned. It's worse than a wing. That's what adds the difficulty for Wii. They just bombard you with so much colour that it's hard to stare at the screen for much longer. Sure, bring it, I guess. Okay, here we go. Pressing the right buttons this time for a change. Okay, I've got to get out of there. Luckily, because this guy is so melee untreated, our projectiles are the perfect countering for him. Die, 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 die. There you are, that's more like it, man. Slam ban, not a problem. Not even a problem. And now I go from itchy humerus to itchy shoulder, apparently. Luckily, that part of my skin is not sunburnt. You can tell the difference there. Okay, these folks have all got to die before that happens to me. That would be much appreciated and it would be much convenient. Just one of you die so I can get food, please. Okay, there we are. There's that. I'll be taking you. There's you. And your grunt will soon follow suit. Told you so. Boom! Everyone's dead. If I stood still for long enough, maybe Doom Sharks would have made that my status too, but fortunately for us, we wound up being just fine. You clearly do care. You gave us like an entire 12-minute detour to try and hold on to it for yourself. This is the face of the man who cares, if you were to ask me. Or should I say, a little bitty boy. Chaos. He's effectively a kid, let's be honest. Like, we have an entire army of Skylanders, and here's one guy who's effectively a kid. Who's gonna win? Just saying, the Skylanders, they don't fight fair. Another reason why Skylanders are not heroes. Who knows, maybe that'll be the title. I'll either use that or the fact that the slot is cursed, whichever one will get me more views. I'm joking, and hence the laughter. The main thing I'm joking about is the fact that I'm not in it for reviews.
You have brought the eternal water source.
That's nice. Skip! There you go, I actually pressed the right button. I accidentally initiated by pressing for A to skip, and that is not the skip button. Not the best button in a video game, in other words. It is the best button in a video game when you're doing the water sections, because it's the only button in a video game you can use, as well as obviously for movement buttons. We're unlocking things, but we're unlocking things that are going to be explored in the next episode. Man, that's such a satisfying thing to say, not gonna lie.
I've been hearing strange noises coming from there for a while.
Yeah, well, I've heard stranger things. I've also seen stranger things. By the time this comes out, the first portion of the next season of Stranger Things will have released. So that's going to be fun to talk about eventually. But for now, we're going to roll that outro. With that being said and done, this video is coming to an end, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. By merely clicking on this video, you've shown support and helped it garner recognition so it can reach many other viewers here on YouTube. I'd love to see you take the extra step and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Also be sure to comment below and push that subscribe button whilst you're down there. By clicking elsewhere on screen, you can either check out a video that's specifically picked out for you, or you can check out the rest of the playlist for a series you just watched. Before ending off, I'd like to thank all of my Blazing Knights and Scorching Dragons whose support help make these videos possible. I'll be seeing you in the next video, and until that moment arises, peace!